it's Jen with Astro T Astrology. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the weekly forecast for June 4th through June 10th. So we start off the week this week with Mercury in Taurus making a conjunction with Uranus that's in Taurus. So we have Uranus already and we have them just coming right together. Conjunction is when the two planets come together. And so this, with Mercury, it's all about thinking and processing information. So your mind's going to be very stimulated. Uranus is about quickness, is about, they're both kind of quick planets. Uranus is about quick change. So you're going to feel, really open-minded to see change and accept change and kind of process different, changes in society that might be coming in. It's great for creative work, great for, sitting down and really concentrating, maybe going from one thing to another. Maybe if you need to be a multitasker, it's a great transit for that, multitasking, because it's like stopping this, going right to this, going right to this, going right to that. So it's easy that this could lead you to have a little bit of a scattered mind because you're all over the place. You might be a little bit disorganized. So if you have any of this going on, if you have planets in Taurus, if you have, sun, moon, or rising in Taurus, even if you have your MC, maybe it could be work related, you'll be feeling this the most. Even if you have a lot of planets or sun, moon, rising in Scorpio, this will be in opposition to that. So that's where you'll kind of be feeling it the most. If if you don't really have anything there, these transits kind of generally pass on their own. So again, try and just keep focus. If you have lack of attention, you might feel a little bit like ADHD, where you're just like can't focus, can't pay attention. So that might be a little bit hard to do, but when you do get that information in, it'll process and you'll be able to kind of use it and utilize it to your ability. So then that's happening on the 4th, and then on the 5th, which is today, we have Venus moving into Leo. So it's going to be in Leo for a little while because it does go retrograde in later July. So first, when you think of Leo, you think of the sun, the heart. You think of, what all the planets revolve around. And then you think of Venus. So pretty much, things are kind of revolving around either you want your relationships revolving around you, or it's revolving around your relationships. You enjoy being the center of attention. You kind of feed off that. It's going to be romance. You have kind of, your ego might be a little bit inflated. You have that pride of that Leo has, that the pride that you have, and maybe you could be a little over extravagant, maybe a little over dramatic at times. That could happen. We do have once Venus starts moving into Leo, we have as of right now, we have Mars at about 9 degrees. So we have them coming pretty close. It's with an 8-degree orb, so I'm saying that's kind of a conjunction, but it's a wide conjunction. But it's going to be coming together because Venus is the faster moving planet. So that Venus is going, at 12 degrees, it's going to hit its pre-shadow period. So the pre-shadow period, if you remember from our retrograde video, is when it goes retrograde, where it goes back to. So when it goes retrograde on July 22nd, it's going to move all the way back to 12 degrees in Leo. Then it's going to station again and move direct and start heading out, and it will be there until about, it's going to station direct September 3rd. So it's going to go retrograde on July 22nd, go direct on September 3rd, and then finally move on its way out and go into Virgo on October 8th. So this pre-shadow period, we're going to have a whole video on that and kind of discuss what we want to be looking for. So look for that video coming up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the little bell so you get notified of upcoming videos so you don't miss it. So again, on the 5th, we also have Venus coming into an opposition with Pluto. Because Pluto is at 0 degrees of Aquarius right now, so you're going to feel that intense love. You're going to feel, you're in just a really deep love, intensity in your relationships. There might even be a little bit of a power struggle. That could be in your relationship, that could be in partnerships. It doesn't necessarily have to be love relationships. It could be friendships, it could be business partnerships, where you might feel those power struggles. Maybe, you want things one way, they want things another way. Pluto is about kind of authority and getting the upper hand, and big changes. So you could maybe even see, if you have a lot of planets in Aquarius and in Leo, say your sun, moon, rising, again, a lot of planets in there, you are going to you're going to feel this a little more than everybody else. In Leo, if you have, we have the opposition with Pluto. So again, we're going to be having, maybe even obsessive qualities with love, because again, it's in Leo. It's revolving around you. It's, you want things to revolve around you. So you could have like these compulsions, kind of a fervor, kind of need to have this attention put on you and have the control. So you just want to kind of, monitor that, kind of keep that, under control a little bit. You don't want any huge changes. You don't want that Pluto, making any finalities, many endings. You want happy, good, pleasant. If you have a night chart, Venus is your major benefic, and it is a secondary benefic or lesser benefic if you have a day chart. So it's normally a good planet. The opposition with Pluto, always adds a little bit in there. It's also coming into a close square with the nodes. So on Thursday, the 8th, Venus will come into a T-square pretty much with the North Node and the South Node, as they're directly opposite each other, and then Venus is popping up. So we have Venus here in Leo. We have the North Node just at the very end. They're going to be moving out. So the North Node is in Taurus, South Node is in Scorpio. So if you can see, it's the 30, 60, 90, that's the square, 30, 60, 90, that's the other square. These two are always in opposition with each other. The North Node and the South Node are always opposite each other on the chart. So it's kind of, that's not Venus. That's Venus. So that little crown on there, I didn't even notice it. So you want to make sure I have my right glyphs for you so you're not get confused. So anyway, you might not need to really feel that, to be the biggest and the best. You might feel content with almost where you are. You might not care about being the richest, most successful, or going for, what that karmic is. You might, appreciate what you have for now and kind of be, just happy where you are. But you might also find yourself falling into those patterns from the past. The South Node kind of draws you back and draws you back to your comfort zone, even if those patterns might not be healthy. They might be destructive patterns mentally. So you want to watch, what you find comfortable and what you might find scary to move ahead towards. You might find those obstacles in your growth, in your relationships, trying to get away from, things and mistakes that you've made in the past to try and, change that for the future so you have happier relationships, more content relationships. So you don't want to be just complacent. You want to, keep growing, and, don't be idle. You always want to have this in life. This is what, with all, even the moon phases and new moons, everything's about growth. Everything's about your potential. Again, I've said this before in videos. The natal chart that you're born with is about your potential in life. It's a promise that if you work hard and if you put the effort in to oversee those squares and oppositions, it can get you what it's showing you. But again, nothing is just going to be handed to you. You could have, trines all through, nothing bad. It still isn't going to be handed to you on a silver platter, because you still have to work towards it and you have to put the effort in. So always remember, you want to be working towards something. There always should be something that you're, not even if it's just the brass ring that big, but you just want to, better yourself in some way. Use that Mercury that is coming into conjunction with Uranus to kind of change your mindset on things and kind of open your mind. Maybe, if you kind of see what's going on in the world right now, if you look at this on a mundane level, Mercury is coming into this conjunction with seeing things differently with this Uranus conjunction. It's seeing things in a different way. Maybe taking in, okay, so, with all this Venus stuff, relationships, for instance. And if you look at the way the world is now, it's Pride Month. So, some people who might be really closed-minded to same-sex relationships or anything that's maybe a little bit out of the ordinary, that's not just, heterosexual, plain Jane. Maybe these transits will kind of open people's minds a little bit so they can take in that, okay, so, really accept that, okay, people have pride in what they love, what they do. So you have to, you don't have to accept it, but I think this is going to make everybody accept things a little bit easier and see things a little bit clearer. So, and I hope then that would be great. And this, a lot of this fighting and boycotting and all that can just go away if we all just understand each other. So, really use these nodes to kind of, and your Uranus and the Venus to see things that you might not have accepted, to grow, to get past obstacles, to see things that and accept things that you might not have accepted in the past. So you also want to learn with this, if you're making bad choices that you had in the past, you want to work with the Mercury to kind of really think about it and think, how am I going to change myself so I don't bring on this, so I don't, attract these people. Because, if you are attracting the same type of people, it's not always them. It's a lot of times it's you. So you want to say, okay, let's change, make a quick change, and I'm not going to accept this. People need to learn that I'm not going to accept this. So use all this to your benefit. So then on June 9th, on Friday, we have Mercury in Taurus is coming into a sextile with Neptune in Pisces. So, think about Pisces. Pisces is all about kind of acceptance of whatever. There's no boundaries with Pisces. It's just, everything's kind of a free-for-all, and, everything's accepted. Neptune in Pisces is, of course, it's in its dignity, so it's really happy there. It's enjoying having those lines blurred a little bit. It's enjoying not having, the Saturn-like, boundaries. It's enjoying kind of, being a little bit, flowy, a little bit airy, a little bit smoky. Mercury in Taurus kind of grounds that a little bit because, Taurus is that earth sign, so it, kind of calms that, that fogginess down a little bit. And we have Mercury again is taking in the information and processing it and projecting it, taking it in, processing it, and then explaining it to other people, maybe teaching other people what you learned. Your intuition during this time is going to be really strong. So keep your mind open, keep that Mercury open in there, and take in the information that's coming to you, maybe subconsciously. If you have any kind of maybe psychic abilities that you thought, oh, maybe, I always kind of felt a little bit psychic, or I've always kind of felt intuitive, in a certain way. Really, really use this transit to open your mind up so that you can take in that information and process it, and maybe, relay it to somebody else. And say, if you do have psychic abilities and you have, somebody on the other side trying to pass you a message, you can pass that along to somebody else. If you are thinking about, maybe your intuition towards others' feelings, you might be able to tell when you normally might not, but you might be able to tell a little bit more now when they're not having that good of a day, and you want to how can I help you, and really talk to them and communicate with them. Use that Mercury to really help people through any kind of confusing time they might be having. Work with them, help them, let them know that you're supportive of them. Listen to what those voices in your head, those voices in your gut are telling you. Great time, perfect time to meditate. So if you're not a big meditator, this is a time that you might want to just, turn the lights off, close your eyes. You don't have to sit and, lotus and and all that. And you can just close your eyes and just take in the thoughts around you, clear out the stress that's going on, the overactive that's going on in your everyday life, and just kind of, recoup, take in the new information, and just process, have that white light just clear everything out and take the new in and out with the old. Great time too when you're meditating to think about, a lost loved one. Maybe you can get a feel of how they are. If you have lost a loved one in the past, it's a good time to reach out to them. Take it in. Don't put your blocks up. Let your blocks down. Let that disbelief go, and just kind of use everything. So these transits, that I give you, they're through the whole week, and it all kind of flows. If you listen to the way it all flows together, we're starting off with, Mercury and with Uranus and understanding and changing and going with the flow, and then we have Venus moving into Leo, and it's like, okay, now let's revolve this around me, and let's, okay, so we're gonna, change our mindset. And we're going to use all this, and then we're going to finally end up at the end of the week with just a little bit of spirituality, a little bit of meditation, and a little bit of intuition. Reach out to those that you've lost, those loved ones that you lost, and maybe you'll see how good they're doing and get a little bit of reflection there. So I hope y'all have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to like if you like this video, leave any comments. If you're looking for any type of reading, please contact me anytime at astrotastrology@gmail.com. And of course, hit the subscribe button and to see upcoming videos coming up, especially about the Venus retrograde that's going to be coming up at the end of this month. Make sure you hit the little bell, and you'll get the notifications. So I hope you have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.